Today we are taking a look at Flap Happy, the latest NES homebrew release from Megacat Studios that is up now on Kickstarter for another 11 days as of this recording, and it has already met its funding goal. So, Megacat Studios sent me out a demo copy here to check out and preview for you all on the channel, so we're going to be looking at the cartridge itself and some gameplay just to get a feel for it and see what kind of game it is to give you all a better idea if you want to back this or not. And after spending the weekend with this game, I will say it is pretty interesting and unique and definitely challenging, and I think a great many out there will definitely get a kick out of it, but let's go ahead and take a look. So here we have the demo cartridge for Flap Happy. We can tell that this is just kind of a demo product itself. The shell itself is relatively enough well made, but I imagine the final will look a little bit less rough. But, I mean, the label itself is matte, and I really like how crisp and sharp the artwork appears on it, so when the final release comes out and it's in full color, this is going to look really cool. Back label included by Megacat Studios, and then it's a 3-screw shell with the little hooks on top, so typical NES case that you would see from later games. Now, as for the board itself, this looks like it is a handmade board, so I'm going to forgive it any inconsistencies that might be here. So, as you can see, it looks like it was all handmade. So, very cool. Like, love that they're willing to go that far. But, anyway. It's a Megacat Studios board, in-house board now. So, we have our two things here. But the things that stand out to me is just this little notch down here in the corner. And it actually is elevated the pins. So I'm hoping this is not in the final board revision, but again, it's a handmade board, so I'm willing to forgive it a bit. It is also not beveled to the level that you would hope for out of an NES game, so hopefully, again, the final board will see this sorted out. Again, handmade board, not gonna knock it too hard for this. But works just fine in my NES system, and I was able to enjoy the game, and this demo was, again, quite interesting. So let's take a look at some gameplay. So just for the sake of transparency, I downloaded the demo from the Kickstarter site and recorded this using RetroArch because I didn't have an easy way to record my NES at this moment. But there's two modes of play, easy and hard, and a nice how to play options for you to learn the basics. So you have to press A on your controller to make flap flap, essentially. And the game itself is just a very tough type of platformer where you need to get flap to land on 5 different platforms to trigger the end gate without getting hit by any of the obstacles, walls, ceiling, or dropping into the pit in the middle. And after the initial learning curve, it becomes a very challenging game. There are very tight spaces that you need to get flap to land, and the game does rely on a kind of clipping mechanic where if you hit the side of a platform, you'll immediately be clipped up into the top of it, which is very interesting and definitely needed for the hard mode. While standing on a platform, you do gain an invincibility power-up, so that way you don't have to worry about being hit by obstacles or enemies while standing on a platform, which is a nice touch. Otherwise, some of these levels would be downright impossible. But additional platforms appear after the first one is stood on, so there is a sequence that you have to go through. You can't just tackle this one based on which platform happens to be closest to you at the time. It is sequenced. But the game itself will feature 4 worlds, but each world has its own unique enemies and aspects to it. So, for example, snakes, sharks, spinny fireballs of doom. And each really offers its own unique challenges to the experience, which is pretty fun to see. So again, while the game may seem pretty simplistic on surface level, it is actually extremely tough, just based on where some of the platforms are located. Again, you need to rely on a clipping mechanic to get to the top of some of them because you only have 1 block of clearance, and if you try to flap in those squares, you're going to end up dying. You do get to start out with 5 lives, and as you gain score, you gain additional lives just as with any other classic NES titles, so you can build up quite a buffer of lives for later levels if you handle the early ones really well, especially if you can do them quickly to get more bonus points, as well as capture the fruit that happens to be flying around in each level. So while the demo was able to quickly cycle between its worlds, the final game is said to have over 900 levels, making this a very interesting challenge type of a playthrough. I could really see this game being a really hardcore one for anyone that is really interested in tough as nails challenge, score challenges type things. Be curious to see what speedrunners think of this one as well. And as for the graphics, they do a good job of conveying what is going on in the game itself. You can tell what obstacles are, you can see where you are, you can tell where you need to go, the platforms are well laid out. There's nothing about it that just screams obscurity. Now that being said, it's not the prettiest game on the NES and not the prettiest homebrew game that has come to the system, but it gets the job done for what it needs to do. So about my only point of contention with this game came to its music, unfortunately. It just kind of got abrasive after a while. That's not to say it wasn't good originally, it just kind of got repetitive and to the point where I wish I could turn it down in the game settings. That way we could hear the flapping more than the music, or just turn it down to be more of background noise. So I instead just started muting the TV after a while, unfortunately. But overall, I do find the experience a fun one. Definitely challenging, so not for the faint of heart, but I can really see this game taking off for hardcore score challenges and speedrunners especially, and for anyone with a competitive edge in their NES titles. This one will be right up your alley. So be sure to check out Flap Happy over on the Megacat Studios Kickstarter page if you are interested in trying this one out for yourself. Again, you can download this same demo that I demoed for you all today. It's available on the Kickstarter page, and it's the same one that was included on this demo cartridge that I was playing over the weekend. But link to that Kickstarter will be in the description below. 11 days left as of filming this video. It's already met its funding goals, so the game is happening. But let me know what you think of Flap Happy just from seeing this demo, or if you try the demo yourselves, I'd be curious to hear your thoughts on it. I think, again, this is going to be a really good one for anyone that's into hardcore score challenges, and I could see this one being a really fun, leaderboard game. So definitely give it a shot. Check it out. And again, I'd like to hear from you. But we're going to go ahead and call it here for this little preview for Flap Happy. Thank you again to Megacat Studios for letting me demo this one for all of you to see. And big thank you to each and every one of you for watching today's video. It means the world to me. Love having you here. So be sure to hit that thumbs up, thumbs down, depending on how much you like this video, as well as that sub button notification bell so you can see when more go live. And if you'd like to help us support this place, be sure to check out that join button here on YouTube or the Patreon link. It'll appear over here somewhere. But until next time, my wonderful internet peeps, you stay awesome. We'll see you back next video.